and welcome back, and thank you so much for coming to join me for yet another video. If this is the first time that you're here, welcome, and I hope that you enjoy my content. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So if you've checked out my previous videos, or this isn't the first video that you've seen, I normally cover content around pregnancy, birth, breastfeeding, that kind of thing, but I've been getting loads of questions about what are my sort of baby essentials or must-have items, what sort of toys my kids have been enjoying, and that kind of thing. So I thought that instead of lumping it all into one video and being sort of it being a bit of an overwhelming video, that maybe I would break it up into a little series. So today we're going to talk all about my 6 to 9 month essentials. So for those of you who don't know, we are very much in this phase right now. My little Archer is just turning 7 months, so this is kind of a roundup of the things that he's been enjoying, but also my eldest boy enjoyed when he was this age. So just to give you an idea of kind of my approach, I very much I like to kind of think I'm more of a frugal sort of minimalist mama. I also really don't like clutter, so if there's a big obnoxious piece of kind of Kitty's playware that isn't working really well in our house, you can be damn sure that I'm getting it out of the house pronto. We also we're quite big on like sort of open-ended play, so play that can be used for in lots of different ways, Montessori style play. I'm big into kind of neutral colors, lots of natural materials, and lots of second-handy stuff. I like things that, you know, play as learning sort of learning as play rather, so things that I would use in my everyday. I also incorporate into my kids play, or a version of that for kids play. So you're going to see a little bit of that as we're kind of going into what I've been enjoying, and what my little boy has been enjoying. If you haven't already checked out, I've got a whole video all about my newborn essentials from kind of a more minimalist mama perspective, and I'll make sure and have that linked in the cards of this video down below. I'll also do my best to kind of link as many of these different toys and ideas as I go along, but I'm going to dive straight into it. I've got a big old box of bits and pieces beside me, and generally what we do is I actually have I've emptied them all out into, let me just grab the tray, hang on. So particularly helpful if you have an older baby, we have all of Archer's bits and pieces stored in this really sweet tray. It was $9.99 from TJ Maxx, and it's so handy because my eldest is 2.5 years between them, and sometimes he's just not ready to share his toys, and when he's having a hard time sharing, I'm able to just say to him to go and grab something from Archer's tray. So this is where we keep all of the toys that Archer is enjoying at that time, and it means that he can, you know, share his toys when he feels like he is ready to share, and if he's having a hard time doing that in that moment, and instead of like snatching that toy away from Archer, he can give him an alternative, and it gives him a little bit of independence around that. So that is where we kind of store them. I also love storing things like puzzles or like towers and blocks and things like that for Atticus's age in trays, so that he can pull out the whole tray to make it, as opposed to you know, not being able to access any of those toys. So that is that. The next thing that I was going to say just briefly is what sort of 6 to 9 month old babies are doing, and what sort of, I suppose, where they're at developmentally. So Archer is currently just starting to kind of crawl. He is sitting up really well himself. He's got 2 little teeth, and he's started weaning, so he's doing a lot of, you know, putting everything into his mouth. He can now reach for things and grab them. He's got great head and neck control, so he is no longer, you know, just sort of staying in one place. He's now mobile. If you are worried, of course, about your own baby's development, do make sure and get that checked out by your GP, or they might link you in with your public health nurse, and make sure that you're happy about your baby's timeline and how they're doing developmentally. So 6 to 9 months is a really big one because there's lots of huge changes, and pretty much everything goes into their mouth, right? So I'm just going to grab from this pile and let you know kind of the things that Archer has been enjoying. The first one is actually something that I actually had from Atticus, and that is the Sweet Sophie giraffe toys. We have this one, and we actually have the giraffe itself. These are not only so cute, but they're really lovely for their little gums. He loves to go for her little ears, and really easy to grab. So these are lovely, made from natural rubber, and we have two types of this, and the other one actually Archer is playing away with downstairs as we speak. Then, oh, actually, I forgot to mention, stay tuned for my 2 regrets at the end of this video. I have to like remind myself to mention those. So, Sophie the Giraffe, big hit. The next thing is crinkle paper, and this particular version, so crinkle paper, you can get it in black and white, you can just get it in sheets. I will link in the cards of this video one of the other crinkle papers that Atticus really enjoyed, but it's literally, you can hear it, paper that makes that lovely, really satisfying crinkly sound. This one actually has all of the different attachments for a teething baby, so they're really lovely to chew on, and the sweet little face, and all the different kind of like high contrast patterns. But crinkle paper is generally really cheap, and is something that both of my kids have really enjoyed, and it's really gives it a really lovely, satisfying kind of crunch when they're playing with it. So I'm literally flying through these. A lot of this, just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of when I say minimalist, this is how minimalist I mean. A spoon, a wooden spoon. So generally I separate them out to some degree, like my kitchen spoons and the spoons that my babies will chew on, but Archie will quite happily, and so would Atticus, sit there and just munch away on a wooden spoon, and it's lovely on his gums and just felt really nice for him. So you don't have to go, spend heaps of money. Another really cheap thing is this is like an or naturally tinted curtain ring, and this is also lovely. It's lovely for them to hold on to. It's a really nice like natural teether. But I would also do things like I would link it in for sensory play, so tying on like a silk scarf and then like running the silk scarf over his face. He just loves it. I start sensory play really pretty early with my kids. I think it's really good for them, and it helps them kind of down the line with sort of avoiding some major sensory issues. So yeah, curtain ring. You doesn't have to be expensive. The next thing that I've really been enjoying this time round, and is something that I didn't do last time, and particularly for anyone who is doing baby-led weaning, if you saw my baby-led weaning video, you would have already seen this, and that is a crinkle cutter. So for things like avocados, bananas, those really slippery, hard to grasp fruits and veggies, this is awesome. This one is actually a chip cutter, like a crinkle chip cutter. And again, I'll try and link it down below, but it just makes everything so much easier. And Archer's been doing really well with his weaning, but this is something that has definitely helped. And then on the flip side of that, Atticus has always enjoyed doing kind of like food prep with me, and he's doing really well with like chopping fruits and veggies this way. So it's been lovely for both of the boys actually. So after that, around the kind of so we do co-sleeping, and around the kind of 6-ish month mark, somewhere in and around, depending on each baby, I will feed my babies to sleep side lying upstairs, and then I will roll away, do a little bit of a ninja roll, and get some time with my hubby away from the babies. That being said, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it takes me, running back up and down the stairs 2 million times. But I get asked all the time how we do safe co-sleeping and manage to get some time as a couple. And for us, last time we just did a floor bed situation. So we actually just took the legs off the bed altogether and just had our mattresses on the floor. This time what I've done is just invested in a really good video monitor. And this one I got from Amazon. So we were looking for a new video monitor because the one that we had before was from, I think it was BT. and it interfered with our internet, and it also wasn't that fast. So by the time, I like to get to my babies when they're kind of just mooching, so sometimes I can kind of feed them back to sleep and they don't wake up fully. I also don't really let my babies cry, so it means that I can get to them before that point. But also, if your baby's moving, means you get to them before they have wriggled or rolled anywhere. I can do a whole video on kind of how we co-sleep safely in another one, but this is the monitor that we got. So if you can see it there, it's called the Mooney Baby, and it has 2 cameras. So I will quite literally feed Archer to sleep over here. We've got the little wooden co-sleeping cot, and I'll feed him to sleep there, sort of sideline feed him, the ninja roll away, and the camera will be looking at him. So I'll just turn this on. I won't turn it on for you now in case it's quite loud. Actually, it's going to hear me, so that would be really annoying. But I will be able to watch him on the video monitor, and anytime he kind of so much as mooches, I can run straight back upstairs. But I can also then switch screens and watch Atticus as he's sleeping next door. So it's been a real lifesaver and been really, really lovely to have some time back as a couple, which I don't think I would be able to get without a video monitor. The next thing that I've been really enjoying as Archer's kind of been on the move is getting him some grippy socks. So we didn't do this with Atticus, and I remember him really struggling when he was learning how to crawl. I've got 2 different types here, but they've got these, you can see these little like sticky, grippy things on the bottom, and these have helped him so much. I feel like that, paired with the fact that we were like really consistent with tummy time with Archer, means that he's been on the go like a lot faster. He started crawling when he was around 6.5 months, and now he's like full on. You will find him at the other end of the room if you don't move fast enough. So these have been really, really nice. And previous to actually finding these and investing in these, we would actually undo his onesie and like tie it around his back as if he has a little tail, so that he could use his bare feet and his knees to kind of grip and help move himself forward. But these have been really lovely, and we actually got Atticus a pair as well, and he will use them if he's ever like doing any kind of soft play stuff where you can't go barefoot. You're not allowed to go barefoot, but you're not allowed to wear shoes. So these are fabulous and really, really cozy too. I can't remember where we got these. And of course they're socks, there's no tags on them. But I will try and find something similar and link them down below for you as well. Okay, so what is next in this little basket? Oh yeah, this is really sweet because it actually used to be mine, and I cannot for the life of me remember what these are called, but it's like tied together with string, and it's like a kind of a spherical shape somewhat, and it's got these little knobbles on the ends that Archer absolutely loves. So he's really into anything that rattles, but mostly anything that he can put into his mouth. So this has been really, really lovely, and it's really easy for him to grasp. So he's had great satisfaction, and also kind of getting that positive reinforcement when he's actually able to reach for something and grab it and bring it to his mouth. It's just been really, really lovely to watch, and really nice to have something to kind of pass down as well. It's weathered really, really well, but I'll try and link something similar to this in the cards down below as well. I can't for the life of me, did I write down what that is called? I didn't. So the other things that I've been really enjoying is just like a rattle. So anything that rattles, this is just a little wooden rattle, and he will hold this and he will gnaw on this. Anything that is even remotely boob shaped, he will love. But this is quite sweet as well because when I get around to doing my toddler favorites, Atticus is really into music, so the 2 of them can kind of play together. It's really, really sweet. All of a sudden they've just kind of fallen in love with each other the last few weeks, and it's just, my heart melts. The next thing then is books. So really high contrast books are lovely. A lot of kind of like black and white books are really nice. And we have one that is just black and white, and it's Archer's favorite. Like if he's ever unsettled, just propping him up in front of this book or having him on his tummy looking at it is just so sweet, and stops him crying straight away. We go for quite thick card books for the smaller ones that they're able to kind of grab and reach. But reading to your kids from really early on, like look how sweet that is. and he literally can't tear this, you know. But reading from your kids really early on is something that I swear has helped Atticus with his diction, with his words. He can sit down in the evenings and tell us about his whole day and have the words for almost everything that he's trying to talk about, which I think is quite unusual for his age, and it makes me incredibly proud. But I think that's a lot of that is down to the way that we speak to him, but also we read like a minimum of 3 books a day, and I think that has really helped. I will link some of my favorite kiddos books down below as well if you're curious. I also did two videos about kind of like my own parenting techniques, because I was getting quite a few questions, so check that out if you're curious. Another thing that also coincides with what toddlers quite like is blocks. These blocks are really sweet. These are called the Janod. Ooh, you can't see that at all. Definitely not pronouncing that right, but they are lovely. They're kind of really interesting shape, and so they're really nice for him to kind of grasp and hold, but also chase. So I will kind of roll this little across the room, and Archie will like crawl across to get it. So anything that's kind of a ball shaped and easy enough for him to hold onto is something that he's been really enjoying. You get the picture, guys. I didn't spend a whole lot of money on this baby. Really and truly, I found that he oftentimes just wants to sit and watch his big brother doing whatever he's doing, and that doesn't cost a penny. Or sit and watch you cooking, watch you cleaning, whatever it is. It's exciting enough. The next thing then is actually related to weaning, but I've been enjoying these Cogni Kids cups. We also have the Doidy cup, which he's slowly mastering, but this he just loves because he can grip it from pretty much any angle. He doesn't have to get the two handles in the same way with the Doidy cup, but he also uses this as a toy. He'll chew on it, he'll gnaw on it, and it's lovely and soft and rubbery and lovely and really easy to clean, because you can just pop the outer shell off altogether, so nothing gets stuck in kind of the creases, which is really fun. But I will bring one of these with me wherever I go. So if we are out for food, I'll bring one of these own little cups, and it's gonna be really nice. So the last but not least, and it's the tiniest little thing, is my nail snail. So this works. Can you see there's like tiny little grooves, and you literally will put your nail into where the groove is between the two like antenna of the snail, and you just roll it along like that. You can see it's even cutting my own nails, and it's one of the scariest things as a new parent is cutting your baby's nails, and we have loved this thing since we got it when Archer was teeny tiny. Oh no, I lie, we use this as Atticus as well, and it's the same one that has still been holding up, and I actually have a discount code, I believe, for this company, so I'll try and link that below as well. But it's so small, it's so handy, you can bring it anywhere with you. We just leave ours downstairs with like a second set of toothbrushes and hairbrushes and stuff as well, so we're not running up and down the stairs when we're trying to desperately get outside the door. But absolutely love this, and it has meant that we've avoided any little cuts along the way, and it's just wonderful. So now the part that you've been dying to get to, and that is my two. Oh, one more thing. Carrier. So I wear my babies. I basically just wear them until they're at least 6 months old. Very occasionally, I would say about once a day, I try to lay them down for a nap. Both of my babies have been non-sleepers. Did not get any unicorn kiddos this time round, maybe next baby. So both of them don't tend to sleep for that long once I lay them down. But they love to have really long naps, like contact napping, being close to me. So this time around I've really mastered having my babies on my back, and that has been a game changer because I can cook. I don't have to worry about the hot oil spattering on them. They're not in my way if I'm doing dishes or whatever, or food prep. So this Carrier, paired with actually a woven wrap, has been really lovely. This one is from soulslings.com. I need to find the name of it, but it is glorious and it's so pretty. So it's like a mixture, it's like a soft structured carrier is the term for it, and it's just been absolutely lovely. And it's, yeah, I can't find out where the name is whatsoever. Maybe I'll find it later. probably as soon as I'm finished filming this video. But it's been so great. The soft, like stretchy wraps that I would use in the very beginning don't work for that long once your baby starts to get bigger and chunkier, and Archer's getting really robust now, and he still wants to be up, you know, seeing what's going on. He still wants to be close to me. So having a more structured carrier has really helped with that kind of transition, and an absolute must have for those of you who want to continue to wear your babies, but your baby no longer fits in the in your little stretchy carrier. So my 2 regrets anyway, let's get into them. The first one is a bouncer. So I don't mean a bouncer like you know, one that like your baby will lie into. Sometimes those can be quite handy if you can have them up beside you while you're doing food prep or whatever. But I mean like something like a jumperoo type thing. I will try and insert a video somewhere here if I can, of Archer enjoying it for 0.2 seconds. But there's 2 reasons why personally I didn't like it. The first one is that it's not fantastic for their hips. So unless your baby's feet are able to be flat on the ground, so in our case we had to, even though it was on the lowest setting, put a firm cushion underneath so that Archer could actually bounce properly. If your baby is dangling and they're only able to use their tiptoes, it's not fantastic for their hips. So that's kind of, you know, the first thing, I suppose. But even when that was corrected, Archer didn't really like it. He would go in there occasionally for like maybe 2 minutes max, but I actually found that by the time he was ready to be like, you know, up and bouncing, him getting that time where he's like bouncing on your lap or whatever was more than enough for him. What he really wanted to be doing was like down on the ground, army crawling around the place, watching his brother. He found it, he knew straight away when you were leaving him. So unless I was like putting him in there to like then sit beside him, it was a bit of a waste of money, and also a huge waste of space. They're huge things and they're really obnoxious, and majority of them are hugely ugly. Not that I have a problem with the ugly toys, but because they're so big you can't ignore them. And our playroom is as well, like our kitchen is here and our playroom is like right adjacent to it, so you actually can see right into the playroom. It's very much like a walk-through room, which is fantastic because your kids want to play near you, but very unsightly. So that is the first thing that I really I passed on quite quickly. We held on to it, like we got it secondhand, so I would never recommend getting them firsthand because they're so expensive, but definitely trying them out secondhand. Maybe your kid is going to like them a bit more than mine did, but for me that was something that certainly wouldn't be worthwhile investing in, if because I feel like it's such a fast phase between them like wanting to be jumping on your lap and like, you know, using their legs, to then crawling, and when they can actually physically move. So there's that. That's the first thing. The next thing is, what did I call it? A playmat. A playmat with like the inbuilt arch or whatever, the ones that maybe you step on the pads and they make music and they've got like pretty things dangling. My babies get completely rolled up in these. They will start at one end, they'll catch the side of it and completely get themselves in a tangle. So then like in 2 seconds I have to run down, straighten it all out again before they can even access any of the toys or the different tiles to get to. Also, I think they found it really frustrating. Both of my boys, if they were lying on their back and they see something dangling over them, yes, they want to reach for it, but they want to be able to reach for it, grab it and bring it to their mouth. So without the satisfaction of that, I think that it maybe became frustrating for them quite quickly. And the other thing as well is that they're, again, really big and they're not that easy to like dismantle and just put in a basket at the end of the night. So between that and the bouncer, it basically took up the entirety of our playroom floor space. So for me, they were 2 things that I would not be investing in the next time round, unless I get a baby who really likes bouncing or really just likes to be on their back just looking at things. So let me know down below, what were the kind of 6 to 9 month must-have items that you have really enjoyed for your baby, and anything that you think that I have forgotten. I am so curious to find out what yours are, and thank you so much for joining in, and I will see you in the next video.